Dubai can't believe the 60-year truth behind Fazza's quiet heart. Dubai wakes before the sun and sleeps after the stars. A city built from breath and promise, from sand remembering water, and towers learning how to touch sky. In this city, silence is rare, yet one silence learned to stay. It walked beside horses and poems. It stood on cliffs and dunes. It wore courage like a second skin. Fazza moved through light, through cameras and cheers, through names spoken softly by the world. But inside his chest lived a room where sound chose not to enter. That room held years, not counted by calendars, but by footsteps of one presence, a presence older than noise, older than rumor, older than fear. She was not announced. She was not claimed. She did not arrive with banners. She arrived with steadiness, with the calm of a desert evening, when heat finally bows. 60 years of truth is not age. It is weight. It is memory that does not bend. It is a voice that teaches silence, how to mean something. She knew the boy before the man learned crowns. She saw the eyes before they learned distance. She listened when listening mattered. In a world of commands, she offered understanding. In a world of speed, she offered patience. In a world of praise, she offered honesty. Dubai cannot believe because Dubai learned to believe in spectacle, in fast stories, in loud love, in flames that burn quick and vanish. But this was not fire. This was stone warmed by decades of sun. This was a well that never dried. This was a map drawn without ink. Fazza never spoke her name, not from shame, but from protection. Some truths live only when untouched by mouths. His quiet heart was not empty. It was full, so full it learned restraint, like a falcon held steady, waiting for the right wind. She did not stand beside him in public frames, yet she stood within him, in every choice, in every pause before speech. When the city glittered, she was the shadow that cooled. When the world demanded answers, she was the breath between them. 60 years of truth means time agreeing with love, means patience outlasting noise, means a bond that does not beg to be seen. Dubai listens now, not with ears, but with wonder. How could something so strong move so quietly? The heart answers nothing. It continues its rhythm, faithful, unannounced, carrying a story that does not need belief to be real. The city moves again. Morning lifts glass in prayer. Streets remember footsteps that never asked for witnesses. In the quiet heart, time does not rush. It walks barefoot across memory and choice. Fazza learned early that power speaks loud, but meaning often whispers from places unseen. He carried days like sand, each grain a lesson, each grain a moment that chose not to shine. The world saw strength, measured in stance and vision, measured in leadership and resolve. But strength has another shape. It looks like waiting, like listening past your own voice, like honoring a bond that owes nothing to approval. She was never a rumor, never a headline, never a name folded into gossip. She was certainty. 60 years of truth means surviving seasons of doubt, means standing still while everything else insists on motion. Her presence lived in gestures, a nod that steadied storms, a glance that ended fear, a silence that healed confusion when choices crowded his path. And advice came in floods. Her memory cleared space, like wind clearing heat. This was not romance made of sparks. This was devotion built from days, stacked gently, one above another. He learned love does not demand. It allows. It does not chase. It remains in a palace of mirrors. She was the one who showed him himself, without distortion. The city hears only echoes. It understands noise. It understands display. It understands celebration. But it struggles with devotion that refuses a stage, that refuses to age into weakness, that refuses to ask permission. Fazza carried her wisdom into meetings and mountains, into poetry and solitude, into moments of choice. When he rode across dunes, she rode in thought. When he stood before crowds, she stood in breath, not beside, not behind, but within, where no camera enters. 60 years of truth does not announce arrival. It proves itself by staying. When novelty fades, many believed his quiet was distance or coldness. They mistook restraint for emptiness. They never saw the fullness, the weight of care, the discipline of guarding what the world would break. There are loves that grow loud with time, and there are loves that grow still. Stillness is not absence. It is depth. It is a lake that does not tremble when stones of rumor fall. She taught him that leadership begins in restraint, that a heart must be governed before a city can be. Her age was not years, it was experience. A map of storms survived and paths chosen carefully. The city counts years upward, always higher, always newer, always faster. This truth moved inward, always deeper, always steadier, always patient. Fazza never corrected the world, never explained the silence. Some truths collapse. When explained, he chose to carry it, as one carries prayer, quietly, consistently. When night falls on Dubai, and lights mimic stars, his heart does not compete. It remembers a presence that never left, even when unseen, even when unnamed. This is the weight behind the quiet. This is the reason behind the calm. 60 years of truth does not seek belief. It continues. Regardless, the city breathes at night. Glass towers soften their glare, and sand remembers stars. In this hour, truth feels safe. It stretches. It rests. It stops hiding. Fazza stands between worlds, public and private, noise and meaning, movement and stillness. His quiet heart is not empty. It is complete. It learned fullness early and learned how to protect it. Many seek love like conquest, fast, bright, demanding proof. This love was different. It was agreement with time, a shared patience, a shared understanding. She did not chase youth. She carried wisdom, like water carried in careful hands. Her years were not distance. They were shelter, not a wall, but shade. She taught him how to stand without raising his voice, how to choose without forcing the world. When storms came, and storms always come, her influence did not shout. It steadied. A steady thing survives. What loud things cannot. 60 years of truth means seeing cycles repeat, and not panicking means knowing what lasts. Fazza learned that love is not the moment of beginning, but the courage of continuation. The city measures success in height and speed, in headlines and applause. This story measures success in calm, in restraint, in loyalty. When the world expected fire, he offered warmth. When the world expected display, he offered dignity. She never asked to be known, never needed validation, never demanded position. Her power lived in the way his shoulders rested, in the way his decisions slowed, in the way his words carried weight. A quiet heart hears more than a loud one. Dubai now leans closer, trying to understand how something unseen could shape so much. But truth does not explain itself. It does not argue. It does not defend. It simply exists. There are loves that burn out because they consume themselves, and there are loves that endure because they give space. This love gave space to growth, to duty, to silence. She allowed him to become without holding him back, without pulling him forward. 60 years of truth is not about age. It is about alignment, about two paths, choosing not to collide, but to run beside each other, unseen by most. The city will talk. It always does. Stories will rise. Stories will fall. But some stories do not belong to the city. They belong to the heart. Fazza keeps this one there, not hidden, but honored. It shaped his calm. It shaped his patience. It shaped his mercy. When history looks back, it will not find her name in records or announcements, but it will find her presence in choices made carefully, in power exercised gently. This is how real influence moves, without banners, without noise. A quiet heart, guided by enduring truth, outlasts every rumor. The night accepts this. The sand understands. The stars remain indifferent, as stars always are. Only the heart knows what it carries. Only the heart knows why it stayed quiet. 60 years of truth does not need belief. It needs only time.